welcome to the Elemental Flow Show. I am your host, Holly Dunaway, former boxing world champion, Hall of Famer, and musician. And this is my co-host, JP Perez, who is also a fellow sound healer musician, Reiki master, retired firefighter, so welcome. Thank you for doing this show with me.
It's an honor. Thank you.
We've been talking about doing this show for a while. I met JP a couple of years ago. We used to go to this place in Fort Lauderdale, Florida called Le Sound Temple. And you just go and meditate, and you have a sound bath. They play instruments all around you to deepen your meditation.
Puts you in a certain brainwave pattern that mimics the pattern that you're in right before sleep. Mm-hmm. And I'm a very black and white person, but I know when something works.
Yeah.
And that worked for me, because I don't want to be dependent on any medications or anything that's extraneous.
Right.
I'd rather, rely on something natural.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel the same way. Nature first.
Always.
there's always the cure in nature, or at least the fix. So after a couple of years of going to the sound temple, JP and I had an idea to do floating sound baths here in my backyard. We'd put maybe like 15 floating rafts in the pool, and then me and him and like two other musicians, we would just play tons of instruments around them. We'd probably play like 10 instruments a night. Yeah. How many instruments do you play now?
About 4.
Yeah?
Yeah. Every, ceremony was different.
Yeah. What was your favorite part?
The favorite part was probably once you get started and, you fall into the rhythm of it all, and playing off of each other and trying to fill as much airspace as possible so that there's no interruptions, and everything's, if getting that seamless feeling going.
Yeah. I do feel like that's our greatest compliment, is when we're done with our sound bath. And we do other sound baths too. We do them every full moon on Hollywood Beach with another facilitator, Kelly C. And at the end of it, when people give us a compliment and they say, it seemed like everything just flowed seamlessly, where it seemed like we were just completely coordinated, and as soon as one instrument would come in, then the other instrument would accompany it, or there was no gaps in between one sound and the next sound. So that was always
I think that's just the coordination between the musicians or the facilitators, and knowing how the other one works and what they're going to do next. It's a little bit of knowing your peers.
For sure.
So at this point, how many instruments are you bringing to the table?
Oh gosh. So I have, my primary instrument is the Native American flute, and I have like 18 of those. but yeah, I play other wind instruments like harmonica. I can play harmonica too, and jaw harp. That one I love.
That's everybody's favorite.
The jaw harp. Yeah. Not everybody. Some people, it rubs them the wrong way. It's just like weird, But that's what's so cool about the jaw harp, is it's weird. It's like once the meditation, throws you into like the low brainwave state and theta, like in between sleep and awake, then I think all the cool sounds around you, they bring you into full presence, but without having thoughts. You're not going to sit there and have a lot of thoughts, because your brain waves are very slow. Instruments like the gongs and the bowls, they bring you into theta, that real slow brainwave state. So my favorite part of the sound bath is just messing with people a little bit while they're in meditation, just playing like, a bell here and a chime here, and
the shakers.
The shakers, and then like the dried leaves, and it's such like a immersive experience, and I can get like really close to people, and
do they ever freak out on you?
No, not really. Usually, like if somebody's not really, they're not that deep into meditation, I kind of see them looking around, And then whenever like they see me walking up with like my dried leaves, they're just like, they'll play dead, just so I'll come over and do it on them and just wipe that negative energy away.
Yeah, it's all about cleansing.
Right.
Getting rid of those bad emotions and bad, vibrations that you pick up on a daily basis.
Yeah, and also just about like just relaxing your mind, relaxing your body, and the vibrations, they play through your body, and it just vibrates your whole body at the same vibration, and that allows everything to just work together.
Synchronize better. Right. Yeah. Yeah, I can actually, if I'm close enough to the gong and I'm meditating and I'm receiving, I can, by the end of it, I can feel my skull vibrating.
Yeah.
It might be just me, but,
Maybe. Yeah. So the sound bath, does that kind of like help you get over, I don't want to say trauma, but like it's got to be a little bit traumatizing, being a firefighter and having those alarms just go off. They're so loud, and waking you up in the middle of the night at all times, and like you have to be like super alert. Like, does that kind of help you get over it?
I don't know that it helps you get over it, but it definitely helps you relax into your sleep and into your, your relaxation. It's over the years, you kind of I never got used to it because you end up anticipating getting woken up. So, you just kind of lay there and stress about, oh, you got 4 hours of sleep left, hurry up and get to sleep, hurry up. And that's, the more pressure you put on yourself, the worse it becomes. So it's this vicious cycle that you fall into.
But what a rewarding job, though.
There's nothing like it. Yeah. It's helping other people.
Yeah, they're just really like, they mean it when they're like, you saved my life, because you quite literally are.
Yeah, well, and sometimes it's not even as dramatic as that. It's just somebody needed help at that moment, and you pick up on it, and you see it in their face. The minute that you help them, or the minute you show up, you see the relief. They kind of like, they were stressed out, and then you walk up to them and you start talking to them, and all of a sudden they're more at ease, and they're like, accepting of whatever plan you come up with. And you're there with 4, 6 other guys, 7 other guys, so it's never like squarely on your shoulders. You're there with a team of guys that are really good people, very intelligent, they know their job very well. So there's a certain confidence that comes when you walk up with a group like that, because they're going to solve your problem.
Yeah.
And even you're there to solve a problem, so you don't feel that. I never felt that pressure, because it's a collective effort.
Right.
Just like when we do sound baths together, it's great to have other musicians and facilitators, because it doesn't fall squarely on your shoulders.
Right.
You're playing off of that person, and you're helping this person. I'm big into working with other people.
About to start doing ecstatic dance events. We love going to those, and you tell them a little bit about ecstatic dance, because a lot of people have not heard about what this is.
Ecstatic dance is dancing with your eyes closed, basically. Yeah. Dancing like if nobody's watching.
Yeah.
Not having any inhibitions or cares, and just moving freely, feeling the music, and falling into that flow with the music, and being not being conscious, or conscious of self-conscious of how you're moving.
That's my favorite part of it.
Yeah.
It's just to not care if it looks silly, and I like to scan my whole body, and I'll just pick a body part and just find something funny to do with that body part, and I'll be like, oh, that looks silly, let me move on, and you're not looking at anyone. Nobody's really looking at you. If you do open your eyes and look around, like, everybody's like dancing super funny most of the time, because they're just like moving around, and they're in a state of flow, and some people are, but it's just about freedom. Really, just freedom to move and move every part of you, and then not feel like you're being judged. And you got to kind of like stay in one spot so you're not like running around, smacking everybody.
Yeah.
I still smack everybody. Not hard.
And she smacks hard. So how about you? Do you feel that the sound bath and the meditation, does it help with any trauma that you might have incurred during your boxing career?
Yeah.
How so?
Just kind of a central nervous system reset. And it's helped me like deal with anger issues. In boxing, you really need the anger. A little bit. You need to be able to harness the anger. But when somebody hits you, you don't need to be passive about it. You need to be like, oh, okay, yeah, I see that. All right, I'm about to get, you've got to have revenge on the mind almost immediately, because you got to redeem yourself. You can't like let that be the last thing that the judges or the crowd saw. And so it's very reactive, and you can channel that anger. You can, if your opponent like talks trash, because that's part of it. You got the promotions, and in professional boxing, you've got your opponent that you're training for like a couple of months, and you guys are studying video of each other, and you're like doing interviews where you're like, oh yeah, I've picked apart their training camp, and this is their flaws, and I'm gonna knock them out, and all this stuff. And so you hear that, and you need to hear that, because you need that fire to like motivate you when you're tired and your alarm's going off, but you got to do road work because like your lungs got to get in shape. And then so once I've moved to like playing gongs and playing Native American flutes, things that are very like chill and calm, it's just made me like a more zen person.
Yeah.
Overall, for sure.
That's what we're looking for.
Yeah, I've spent so much time now being zen with music that my first reaction now is zen. Even when something makes me angry, I take that breath, and sometimes just like instead of reacting, taking that breath and be like, do I want to react? Should I? Just giving it a second thought.
Yeah.
Slowing down a little bit.
Yeah, slowing down is big, because not everybody moves at the speed of a boxer that's reacting in the moment. Just like in my career, you have to learn how to slow down, because a lot of people at the firehouse, you communicate a certain way, certain frequency, certain vibration, and it doesn't always translate into the public. The public isn't trained, or there's no need to think have that processing speed that you have on a call. So you have to take that pause, and you have to slow things down, because if not, you find yourself becoming a little bit frustrated.
Or making mistakes.
It's that frustration, I think, that bleeds over into your everyday life, and it almost comes across as being bitter, salty.
Yeah.
Like the old salty guys. Well, it comes from always being in that hyper-vigilant mode. You have to slow down and know that there is no fire, there is no emergency. You just deal with it, and then when it comes, you take a breath and you move on.
So you've really calmed down too. You've been retired how long now?
About 4 years.
4 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
Still got work to do. Got work to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess you were always a healer with, being a firefighter, but now you've stepped into the realm of Reiki, like using energetic healing. Can you tell, I guess if the audience isn't familiar with Reiki, maybe can you just explain what it is and what drew you to it?
Reiki is universal life energy, and it runs through everything. We all have Reiki. It's all around us, and I guess I've always, Guys on the Job has some more than others, have harnessed it in certain situations when people need comfort or reassurance. You know, just something as simple as kneeling down in front of somebody and holding their hand and just being there for them. Sometimes that brings them the greatest relief. And it's all about making people feel comfortable in those moments, probably some of the most difficult moments in their lives, and just easing their anxiety, easing their you know.
You're doing that by holding their hands.
Just something
and the
as
Reiki
simple.
Is,
Yeah.
like, these are your energy centers, right? So this is what you're using to like move the energy and channel.
Basically, it's not coming from you. You're just channeling it from everything. It's coming into you from the world, the universe itself, and you're just an instrument for distribution.
Yeah.
So it's nothing that drains you physically or anything.
Would you say that you're distributing light or energy? Well, I mean, I guess light is energy.
Yeah.
What would you call it?
They've taught us to visualize light coming into us, and that's the energy. So it kind of goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
I'll have a hard time separating the two at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know whenever somebody just like just lights up a room or whatever, you know, you'll give them the compliment. You just tell them like, you're such a light. And it's almost like that person is just full of light and they're beaming it out, and you just, people like that, their energy is contagious. Well, I guess everybody's energy is contagious.
That's the energy. That's the positive energy that you try to, you know, put out for everyone else. And it's all, a lot of it is mindset.
Yeah.
Your perspective on things and how you view things. It's, you know, you try to view things from a positive lens, not a place of negativity. So.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. You wear many hats.
Yeah. Over the years, I've definitely done a lot of things, and at the same time that I was a firefighter, I was also a gym owner.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's always been go, go, go.
Yeah.
And now it's time to slow it down a little bit and figure other stuff out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were doing the aquatic fitness, and you taught Pilates.
Yes, I'm also. We taught at my gym. We had Pilates and weight training.
Yeah.
And you know, everything in between. We did body work. So it was a small boutique style gym, and you know, we tried to provide the best service that we could for our clients.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now we're trying to delve into the real estate market down here. Because it can't, you know, it's like the spiritual world and the healing world, it's the world that we want to be in, for sure. But it's just so hard not to get into real estate down here, because it's just, everybody wants to live here. It'll never struggle, I feel like. So, yeah, we've both become real estate agents down here in South Florida. So, you know, if you want to buy, sell, or rent, we're your guy.
Let us know. Real estate here is amazing. It's like no other in the country, I think. You're not from here originally. Why don't you talk to us about where you're from in Arkansas?
Yeah. Oh, Arkansas. Yeah, I'm from the sticks. I was raised on a farm in Arkansas. This is a much slower pace of life. When I go back to visit, everybody's happy in their own world, and they're happy with the slow pace. And I find that you know, I bring like friends, family here to Florida to visit, and everything's just like, wow, this is amazing. But like, it's very exhausting for people that are like used to the slow pace, and they come here, and I'm like, I set up 4 events for us today, and they're like, what? Wait. I'm like, you're sleeping half of it, you're meditating. Like, it's not anything too exhausting, but yeah, it's just like a slower pace of life, but it's very beautiful. The people have big hearts there, just kind of in general. You know, everybody like stops and cares about the next person, because it's not like it's not like an oversaturated city where you're just like taking human interaction for granted, you know. And yeah, I didn't have like neighbors that lived close to me or anything, you know. So whenever I would get company over, I was just like, tried not to follow them into the bathroom. I really tried, and I would just be very eager for guests, you know, that would finally like make the trip all the way out there to see me. And it's a different way of life, you know. I mean, they both have their beauty. Arkansas, you're doing more hunting and shooting, and you know, a little more country bumpkin activities, a little bit. Mudding, yeah.
We got mudding down here. Oh yeah, lots of mud in the Everglades.
Yeah. I just feel like you're so lucky to have like grown up here. I can't see myself leaving here. There's just so much to do, and like you can be outside year round and not be cold, and so you can do things year round. You can go like you've probably done every sort of boarding out on the ocean, and yeah. What was it like growing up here?
It was fun. It was very fun. You're in tank tops and flip-flops all year long, so that's nice. And then over the years, working out is great and dandy, but it gets tiring being in the gym or, just sitting on a piece of exercise equipment. So I would always figure out ways to work out, kind of like trick my body into working out but having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I would do
like a paddleboard. That's a lot of work.
That's a lot of work.
But you're having fun. You're like worried about like, is there a manatee right beside me or an alligator? You know, you might see alligators when you go out on a paddleboard.
For sure. And it's also just enjoying the outdoors and getting outside, and not being underneath fluorescent lights. Paddleboarding, kiteboarding, mountain biking. We don't have mountains, but we got very good trails at parks that are very technical.
Yeah.
So, you got a whole subculture of people that's all they do. They mountain bike. And then you got the other subculture of people that do water sports.
You got into water sports and all that?
Yeah, you kind of have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to mix the surf and turf.
Yeah. I got into scuba diving here. That was, I thought I was like this big, bad, strong-minded boxer, because like you're about to go, I would be about to go fight in another country, and I'm coming out, I'm the main event, and like you hear the announcer and you're in Germany or Korea or something, and it gets to you a little bit, and so you have to like have a mental strongness to be like, you know what, I control my emotions. They will not control me, and you have to make that decision, and you have to go act accordingly and be able to like turn the fear off pretty much. And I had to do that. I had to channel that superpower when I got my scuba diving certification, because like before we went 40 feet under the ocean, they started us out in the pool, and they put this thing over your mouth, and they're like, okay, if you have to breathe in and out of your mouth. If you breathe in your nose, you're gonna like choke. Like, how do you remember that? Like, how do you not just accidentally take a breath in through your nose? And then the thing that scared me was like, it wasn't like an airtight suction. The scuba diving mask, I could feel water on my mouth, like around it, and they're like, take a breath, and I'm like, no, it's gonna give me water. And so I literally, I promise you, I went under the water 50 times and I couldn't make myself take a breath, like through the thing. I was just like, I could feel water. I knew I was going to.
The regulator.
Water. Yeah, the regulator.
Gotcha.
I felt like I was going to like suck in water and then, have water in my lungs. And they're like, no, you have to trust it. So eventually I was just like, I had to go under and start with little breaths. But then, once you do it once or twice, you're like, it works. How does this work? It works though. And then the next day you're like 20 feet under the ocean, and as soon as I went under, there was like a 7-foot nursing shark right there, just waiting on us. He's just like, and you have to like mentally prepare yourself for that too. They're like, when you see a shark, you be still, make yourself taller and wider, but you also need to like appreciate this moment, because how often are you in the ocean under there and you're like in the presence of a shark? Or any of these creatures. It was so majestic under there to just like, you could spin in a circle and you could see so many different species, and every single species around you had their eyes on you. It was like they were getting an alien, encounter, and they were just like in awe of you. And
you're all dressed up in a wetsuit and you got bubbles coming up.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a little crazy looking.
What is that?
What is that? Is it gonna hurt me? They don't act scared. Well,
inquisitive.
They're inquisitive for sure.
Yeah.
They just kind of freeze right where they're at and just watch. And I love that. I love how everything under there is so quiet and meditative. And I really had to overcome some fear with that. And the paddle boarding, that's fun. Not as fun as boogie boarding, though. I love boogie boarding. That's my thing. When I first boogie boarded, that was the moment where I was like, I'm moving to Florida. I was on a boogie board, and I was like, yeah, this is like one of my heaven on earths.
Yeah. It's that one thing.
Yeah, because you just go out like waist high, and then you just, when a wave comes, you turn your back to it and face the shore, and then just lean on your board, and the wave like shoots you up, like onto the shore, and then you're just like, oh, and then you jump up and just run back onto the waves and just keep repeating until like your legs are just wobbly and you can't keep going. Yeah, you did kite boarding. That looks scary.
Yeah, that's a heck of a thrill. It's very fun, very demanding, and you got to pay attention to the rules and make sure that you're doing things correctly so that you don't get carried out to sea. You just follow the rules and everything is usually fine.
Yeah.
And then you start combining activities like spearfishing with paddle boarding, so you leave right off the beach with your paddle board and your stuff on top of the board, and you
but whenever
paddle
you
out.
spear, it's got to like ride on your paddle board back with you.
Yeah.
Bleeding.
Yeah.
Oh god. Because when I went scuba diving, there was this girl. She was the instructor, and she was super impressive. So while she was under there with us, she was spearfishing lionfish. She's like, these things are invasive,
right.
and they kill like so many different species every single day. She was under there like stabbing things. Thank you so much for starting this show with me.
It was my pleasure.
Yeah, I've been wanting to start this for a while because I really love life down here in Florida. I don't plan on leaving. And I'm just into so many things that I want to share with people. And, I want our show to be a source of positivity for people. So even if we touch on controversial topics, or anything negative, it'll only be to share a lesson or some insight, and to like learn and grow from it, and to move on and try to stick with the positive aspects. So I just wanted to start this, just to share a little bit of light with you guys. Why did you agree to do this with me?
Well, I think people need to start thinking differently. Taking emphasis away from things that don't matter so much, and how we treat each other, as from one person to the other. Maybe helping people take a different perspective on their approach to other people. Yeah. Depending on, it doesn't matter if you're from this part of the country or from another country, people are basically the same. And you have to learn to appreciate that we may be very different, but we're also very similar. And we have to learn to appreciate those things. And can you imagine how boring it would be if everybody was the same?
Right.
There's no difference in opinion, and there's no difference in perspectives. It's always good to have another perspective and another lens to look at things from. So I think that this can be a vehicle to help with that, and at the same time to let people know that there's other ways of doing things. You don't necessarily need to go to a doctor and get a prescription. There's other ways that you can heal physically, emotionally, spiritually. So it's just a matter of finding the right modality or tools to help you get past whatever you're going through.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I agree that, at the end of the day, I believe that people are inherently good. That there may be some people at the top who profit from doing things that aren't in the best interest of humanity. However, the average person you meet out on the street, that we all want the same things. We want happiness and success and love and, just a good life for us and everyone that we love. So, I think that's a good, thing that a platform that we can stand behind, just sharing the light. So Thank you for joining us, and please come back every Thursday at 8 p.m. for the Elemental Flow Show, and we'll keep it flowing for you. Thanks, everyone. Subscribe.
Namaste.